What is up, guys? Welcome to Truth and Transparency, and happy Thanksgiving, those of you guys in Canada. So I got some good friends in Canada, so happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you are listening. We're going to take us way, way back to the beginning. Persons of interest, once this case broke. I got a lot of old stuff I'm going to show again, and then even mash up some of the old stuff with the new stuff to kind of show you, everyone keeps saying if it's not Brian Kohlberger, then who? And I laugh at that in my head because it's like Brian Kohlberger wasn't even on anybody, like nobody even knew who this person was. So to think that there isn't other options, if it's not Brian Kohlberger, then who could it possibly be? That actually makes no sense. So again, good morning. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes. Check it out. This is taking us way back. This is one of the first couple previews I ever did on the Idaho4 case.
This is a preview file. For example use only.
Into 2A in Idaho sports power rankings, and a big part of that is their newest top receiver, Kyle Frei.
2-3 family!
Grangeville football is ready to go undefeated again in regular season play, and the big reason is why.
I'm sorry there, that was muted. This is Kyle Frei. He was involved. He's part of Sigma Chi. He is a fraternity brother of Ethan Chapin. This is why this has ever came out. And he was part of the Venmo. So any Venmo transactions that I found names of, those are people that I, looked up, saw who they were, stuff like that. But again, taking us way back here, this is Kyle Frei, standout football player in high school. Check it out.
Wide receiver and free safety Kyle Frei.
Extremely athletic. He's got great speed, and it goes right back to he has an edge. He wants to catch that ball, and he wants to run somebody over. He wants to score touch. He wants that ball.
I always felt like I was the one looking up to them, and I was. So now I have to be, one of the seniors that kids look up to me.
Frei says it's now his time to step into the spotlight.
Be a good leader, do everything I can, set a good example by always being in the weight room, following through with what I'm saying and with my actions.
But the lessons he learned from his predecessors didn't end there.
I learned from them to just really not try to have any fear. Don't let things get to your head. It won't hurt tomorrow. That's something we always said. So play every play to the best of your ability. And
Again, no relation here to Chief Frei. A normal interview.
Which deservingly so. This kid's just good.
Coach Jeff Adams says he's coached a lot of kids in his years, and Frei is just as skilled as any of them.
If you throw the ball in that area, he's going to catch it. When he catches it, you better look out. He'll cut your heart out. He'll go right at you.
He'll cut your heart out. He'll go right at you.
To beat you bad.
Frei only had.
He's going to catch it. When he catches it, you better look out. He'll cut your heart out. He'll go right at you. He wants to beat you bad.
Frei only had.
You better look out. He'll cut your heart out. He'll go right at you. He wants to beat you bad.
Frei only had.
You better look out. He'll cut your heart out. He'll go right at you. He wants to beat you.
I just thought that was a really weird thing to say, but anyways. There you go. Kyle Frei right there. November 3rd, drinks. He charged Ethan drinks. Okay. So again, why I even looked into Kyle? November 3rd, Venmo transaction. All right. Next up is everybody was going ham over the let's go. All right, take a look. Everybody's going ham over the TikTok, right? 1027. You guys see this ledge here? You guys should be able to see that ledge. That is where they would line up drinks. See the glass drinks right there? Okay. I'm gonna have to zoom in. It's not going to be good enough because it's in black and white. Right behind, you could see those are two glasses. If I had it on a better version, but those are two glasses, and you can see that there's a ledge, and that's actually what they're on. Just like how these two glasses are on the ledge like that. Right? So, so just to kind of get perspective of the night of the murders, or, you know, where this table was when they were doing, this is taken straight from the pictures that they were able to get when investigators were taking, like, you know, the DNA samples. But that that table there is like a flip cup, you know, table. But right behind it, and this is just a bad picture, but there are two glasses. They're just like this, because everything else is either a plastic solo cup, okay, or a bottle of beer, some chips or whatever. But I was interested in where this table was, in this room. Okay, this is what I wanted to look at when I was doing some stuff, where this table was, because it was in a very interesting position. Back out for you guys to see here. You know, this is the ledge where you're walking up the stairs, and right here, this is Maddie at the top again. This is from the TikTok. We stopped it. All right. And that table, okay, so this is the window that you're looking in, and this is the window here. And it's very interesting where and how this table is set up. And I'm going to come back to it because we're going to pay attention to where the legs are and stuff like that. But this is from Friday night. So think about this. This would have been in, you know, everybody said, oh, everybody went to their beds. So then here a killer comes in, and you have this table that's going to be in the middle, and I believe going long ways like this way. But like I said, we're going to come back to that, but I kind of wanted to show people, like, this is not that big of an area, and truly where this table was. And it's going to be right in the middle of the room. Long ways. Okay. based on the legs. Based on the legs and based on where the middle of the table is and how it flips. Okay. So it's gonna go this way. Okay, it's not like this way, that way. All right. And the reason I think this is all important is because we're talking about where the light's off, somebody has to maneuver around. We're talking about 3 unknown male, DNAs in the house. Where could they be? Like, what's, nothing's disturbed. It looks like, I guess you could say one solo cup is down. But I really focused in on the ledge. This is from that TikTok. They would just line up their cups there, okay, and just leave them. Their wine glasses. They're probably doing their skit, so they put the stuff down to do their skit. All right. Stuff like this can be a catch-all. But the glasses, you guys, in here, that's going to belong to the housemates. Okay. The people that are like those wine glasses, I believe that those are going to belong to the people that live there. The solo cups, that's for the games. But anyways, we're going to come back to this on why I think it's important based on what Dylan saw and everything like that. Really quick, I went ahead and found I'll zoom in. This is Gary Jenkins speaking with Brian Kohlberger via emails. Gary Jenkins is chief of police. Brian, great to meet and talk with you as well. Now, I always thought it was interesting that he said great to meet and talk with you as well. April 12th, 2022. So according to the PCA, I wanted to prove this to you guys. It is not true. Okay. Brian applying for something in the fall of 2022. Okay. This is the spring of 2022 in April. So again, right here from the PCA, based on information provided on the WSU website. So they saying that they're writing this is based on the website's information. Kohlberger is currently a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University. Pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel for Pullman Police Department. So pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel. So did they put in a request? Very interesting wording. We learned that Kohlberger's past education included undergrad degrees in psychology and cloud-based forensics. What? I've never even heard that this is like, yeah, I want to go to school for cloud-based forensics. But sure. These records also show Kohlberger wrote an essay when he applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Okay. Well, false. Tuesday, April 12th, 2022, 1:49 p.m. Chief Jenkins. It was a great pleasure to meet with you today and share my thoughts and excitement regarding the research assistantship for public safety. Okay. I look forward to hearing from you. Best regards, Brian. Now, how I took this is somebody that after they had their interview, their meet and greet, you would send an email to, after you did that relatively soon to say just this. It was great pleasure to meet with you. You're not going to send this, a month later. You're not going. You're gonna send this like that next day, possibly. If they met in the morning, you know what I mean. But now we can say it was nice to meet you. Did they Zoom? Is that considered meeting? I went ahead and I looked up. It wasn't like Brian had a spring break at that time. I went and looked at his schedule there, but because of COVID, guys, it changed so much for people. It changed. You're using Zoom, you're using Teams, you're using other uh, professional online resources to do your whole. It was nice meeting you. So, but it's important to note that this information in the PCA is very interesting, that they think that this took place in the fall of 2022. Okay. When he applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022. Was that going to be for then the following year? Because I can tell you it was not going to be for that year. All right. He was already talking to them. Like I said, you're not going to travel across the country and be, rated, considered top in your class in what you do. And just, you're going to try to, whatever you want to do with the program. So, Brian, great to meet and talk with you as well. That was it, Gary. Okay. 143, April 12th. April 12th, 149. Chief Jenkins, it was a great pleasure to meet with you today and share my thoughts and excitement regarding the research assistantship for public safety. I look forward to hearing from you. Best regards. The essay Kober wrote in his essay, he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technology data, in public safety operations. I would just love to see actually what he said. Kohlberger also posted a Reddit survey. So moving on to this Reddit survey. I was in the criminal justice program at the University of Cincinnati, and I can tell you that anybody that would be in that program, and then once you go off into your subdivisions of, your interests, to have something like this and to people think like, oh my God, what a sicko. Like, wait, what? This is completely normal. This is what you have to do. So this is research participation needed. And from the time of when I got this, it was 212 days old. Hello, my name is Brian, and I'm inviting you to participate in a research project that seeks to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. In particular, this study seeks to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offense, with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience. In the event that your most recent offense was not one that led to a conviction, you may still participate. Additional surveys are included after the open-ended section as to best understand your unique traits. The study should take about 15 to 20 minutes to fully complete. Your identity and all answers provided are completely confidential, and a link to the survey is also an anonymous link. This research has been approved by DeSales University IRB. Now, it's going to be pretty simple. Just ask DeSales, hey, what's up with this? You think to yourself, maybe, maybe not. Like, can you just go and just get people's school records like that? Can people just be turning over stuff like that? The reason I want to bring us back to this really quick is when they say who provided this. it was provided pursuant to records provided by a member of the interview panel for Pullman Police Department. We learned that Kohlberger's past education included undergraduate degrees. So you basically asked for his application and they gave it to you. See what I'm saying? I'm just curious again who the person is. Okay, let's go back to this. Again, you just go ask to sales. What's up? Participants must be 18 years of age. If you opt to participate, you may terminate participation at any time and for any reason. If you have any questions about the research, you may contact the research team. Curious to see who is on the team. Student investigator, Brian Kohlberger. Student investigator is what he put, and there's the email address that he used. Again, this is completely not shady at all. At all. Okay? Anybody that says that it is, I'm sorry that you feel that way and how your brain works, but that's... So, you have this, what they mentioned in the PCA, and then they mention this in the PCA, but it's the wrong dates, you know. They think that this wouldn't come out. I don't know. And then let's go right here where it says, after in the fall of 2022, Kohlberger wrote in his essay, blah, 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 blah. The survey asked for participants to provide information to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. That seems to fit perfectly with what he is studying and what he then continued to study at Washington State University. Again, think about it. This is a probable cause for the arrest of Brian Kohlberger. They deemed this material to be talking about it important, or they deem it relevant to put in here, and either that it's that you shouldn't award us the arrest, warrant, or that you should. So they put this information in there. Then they just added that cloud-based forensics in there. Boom. Okay. Next up. Incident address, the 1100 block of King Road. Last night, reporting parties, Ring camera caught people dressed as police officers round his house and trying to open his doors. No report. Excuse me? People dressed as police officers? Okay, well, there's the incident number, Miss Taylor. Go ahead and get yourself some. Go ahead and get yourself some. Okay. Reporting parties, Ring camera caught people dressed as police officers. Oh, interesting. All right. Person of interest, hoodie guy. This is from Xana's TikTok, okay? He's a double bagger. But there you go. Terry is an extrovert, and Terry, just so you guys know, is the name of the little bear or whatever they're calling it. And this shirt is off of Wish. Why was obviously Showalter a person of interest? Well, I'm going to finish today's episode with why. So we're going to come back to that. The famous picture that was taken right here on every cover of every magazine. Okay. I was curious where this was taken because it was obviously the last picture taken of them all together, but there really isn't any pictures of them actually together. All of those people that you see in this picture, with the exception of Bethany and Dylan, who, are right there. And just the ironic situation that this picture was taken that day, the day that would be going into the early morning hours of when they would be murdered, right? Well, where was this taken? I'm just getting blown up this morning. Seattle, Washington. This is the FBI. How can I help you? Okay. This is the day of the murders on the 13th, November 13th at 5:01. Reporting party requests a welfare check on female she hasn't heard from in 2 days. Officer advised no report. This would be the same block is in White Ave, where there's hella white Elantras, by the way. We'll get to that. Did a video on it. And there's a police officer that's involved with the sheriff's department and ISP that lives back there. This picture, these apartments, I don't know. You guys can be the judge. Moving on to the only person in the Showalter family that did not go on to medicine was Showalter hoodie guy. His whole family is all involved with medicine. Okay. And something that caught my attention back in the day was when Kelly Showalter, the mother of Showalter, posted and shared something to do with her other son. And what caught my attention was Rexburg, Idaho caught my attention. During his 4-week rotation, Showalter lived in Rexburg, Idaho, working side by side with local physicians at Madison Memorial Hospital. Anyways, so again, whole family's involved with medicine, doctors, surgeons, and then you got hoodie guy went completely other path, which was business. Next, for back in the day, a throwback here. I think I've said it numerous times that there's so many weird pictures out there of what the heck, these people do. So this is Hunter Chapin being the pony, the horsey, and him being rode by trooper. Okay. Those troopers. Dressed up as police officers, dressed up as troopers, trying to get into people's homes. Again, this is just the way Sigma Chi gets down. So again, joking, funny, funny, playing, awesome. Yes. All those things, great. But then you have to just look at what happened on, November, 12th going into the 13th. And when you take a totality, as Chief Frei says, it's very interesting. You can take what you want from it. So if they're going to talk about Brian being a PhD student, then I want to talk about everybody else on campus and what the fuck they were doing and what they were doing with their lives and what they liked. But again, what a wacky looking horse. Yeah, just, clowning around, having fun, right? But here they have trooper outfits on, It's not unheard of for them to just dress up and play dress up, okay, and be funny. They like to joke around, right? Then obviously I put this out there back in the day. This is Showalter's first kill. So, just supporting it. I mean, it's trust me, it's normal. Like, they're hunters. Dylan, November 13th, 3:33 a.m. Now, again, it depends on who took the screenshot to get all of this information. All right. And just to know exactly what time this was posted. Was it at 3:33 a.m.? Was it at 2:33? Was it at 1:33? Was it at 12:33? November 13th, 3:33 a.m. And so the reason we're going to talk about this for a minute is because to me, it doesn't matter what time, if it was at 12:33, 1:33, 2:33, or 3:33. The question is when was this picture actually taken? That's what I want to know. Because clearly it was not taken at 12:33, 1, 2, or 3:33. But when was it actually taken? And why wasn't it posted then? You're out, think about this, you're out and about having fun with your friends that night. Dylan's supposed to be out somewhere, Bethany's supposed to be out somewhere, and then you got Maddie and Kaylee together. So whether this was posted at 12:33, 1:33 in the morning, 2:33, or this time, what the hell are you doing that you just grabbed your phone and you're like, I'm just going to post this picture when you're supposed to be like, I don't know, either partying and with friends out. But why this picture? Why weren't there other pictures? When was this picture actually taken though? You get what I'm saying? To be like, because then you have to do this. You go and you're searching through your camera roll to say, okay, this is the one I want to put out there at, and I want to put on my, screen. Thank you there, Holly. Thank you there for $50 super chat or Cash App. Holly says that thankful for all your hard work, TNT fam. That's awesome. Thank you so much. LaPlante, thank you so much. Hey, Lana, love your podcast. It's one of my favorites. I plan on becoming a member as soon as I'm able to. Thank you. Thank you. We welcome all new members. Thanks, Holly. Hollywood, I like that name too. OG. Marsha D. Lana, you are amazing. Thank you for all that you do. Marsha, back at you. Member for 7 months. We can almost have a baby together, Marsha. You're the best. You play that. Thank you there, Melissa D. Best channel ever from HJ Luna. Thank you. I'll take that. Happy Monday, TNT. Who day? 8 months. We could almost have a baby. Have a baby by me, baby. Be on welfare. Be on welfare. That's for Mandy Joe. What's in? What's up, Vicky? Thank you. Member for 3 months. Love it. So back at it again. I want to say thank you to those super chatters, super stickers, pen pals, cash appers. So to me, this is way bigger than, was it at 3:33? Fuck all that. I don't care what time it was at. If it was at 12 or 3:33, you had to go into your phone, scroll your camera log, and decide, okay, this is the picture that I just randomly want to post at this time. For what reason? Wouldn't you want to know that answer? Because she's murdered. You understand that? She could have posted her and Bethany, her and Maddie, her and her boyfriend, her and a dog, her and, I don't know, a car. But you had to, you had to go through your camera log and then decide, okay, this is the one I want to do. And then I went and looked, and I'm almost positive I have the day that this was taken. If and in fact, Kaylee posted this outfit that she has on, she posted something in the same outfit, what I believe is the same outfit. And so if that's the case, I'm going to do a quick little video on it and drop it because I think it's important. But if you're screening, like you're just out and about doing whatever, having a blast, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh wait, let me just, like, I do it all the time too. Like you're searching like your socials and you're just looking at stuff, but here you're posting. So then you're gonna go find the picture that, okay, boom, 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 and you're gonna put that out there. It's a song. Yes, it is a song. Who needs a job when you can just grift on YouTube, right? You know what the funny thing is you're here. I don't know what's worse than. My job, Ed. Oh. The day I spend time on somebody that I don't like. I don't know if I've ever done that in my life. Again, yeah, they're November 13th, in the middle of the night. So moving on. I think it's important that you find out the date and if there's any significance in that, why she picked that picture. You could pick so many pictures. Why that picture? Now, next up on the list here is Halloween. And it's to show the back of the house here. There's no drip drip. Okay. This was taken by a very close friend. That's hers. And the date is October 30th. You can't really see because it's got a black background. Hold on. October 30th, 2022 at 6:55 p.m. But the significance is you look over here, there's no drip, right? So that was to look at that. Also putting people, in Moscow and visiting, or did they really live in that area? So that's kind of what I was doing with the social media, just to see where people were. Great. So then let's take a look at this video. I do stuff in hard copies because people like to mess with shit. Idaho4.
Once dispatch lets me know that actually exists, I'll catch you this, all right? No worries. Affirm.
Car matching the Elantra's description can be seen between 2:45 and 3:15 a.m. the morning of the murders. The video was taken from a building on Linda Lane, several streets away from the crime scene on King Road. Video shows the vehicle traveling toward the crime scene. Later, Hall claims a similar vehicle can be seen on body camera video of an unrelated underage drinking bust. Hall pinpoints the car driving by at 2:58 a.m. and uses a digital overlay to place a Hyundai Elantra on top of the vehicle. Law and Crime took it a step further and superimposed the photo of a white car believed to be the Elantra that was caught on security camera by a local gas station that same night. It's important to note the vehicle has not been confirmed to be a Hyundai Elantra, and some believe the car appears to be a white Tesla. Later on, at 3:12 a.m., body camera video picks up what appears to be 4 people running under a street lamp in the background, and less than a minute later, a high-pitched noise. Some online detectives believe this sound to be a scream, while others say it could be tires screeching. The timestamp on this noise is important to note, as investigators believe the victims were killed between 3 and 4 a.m. on November 13th.
We start to identify patterns, and like
Through
we
the
said earlier,
transparency
we are
rules that-
confident that the occupant or occupants of that vehicle have information that's critical to this investigation. We also understand that even though there's sometimes a fascination with a particular case, some people simply don't see the news and may not know that we're looking for it. So if we get the word out there, hey, maybe your neighbor has one in the garage that they don't drive very often. Maybe there's one that's just not on the registration database, let us know. So far, we have a list of approximately 22,000 registered white Hyundai Elantras that fit into our criteria that we're sorting through. That's an awful lot of information, but it may not be all of them. So the public.
No, I don't.
You guys haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay, drive careful.
Just no you guys want to leave the door open for us? That way we can get some sort of communication between us and them.
No one that lives here is here right now. So.
No. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I live across the street. I just came over. I haven't drank a drop. Male, female. I think it's mainly females. I think it's like
That's going on.
I don't know if they're.
I don't.
So I guarantee you they're associated with the sorority. Many of them are living here. It's about campus sorority house. I've been a cop for 22 years here. I'm not play young games with me. I'd rather deal with this as a noise complaint. We need to hold the council, the report, all of that.
Exactly. Oh. Street youths. White Claws?
White Claws.
Nice.
They're gonna be so greasy.
I hate when I leave my White Claws. Oh, they're cold too. Man.
Yeah, these are cold.
Whew. Oh, God. Oh, an open one. Hello.
You do that? Learned that from a college kid.
Yep. All right, John. Did Jordan talk to them?
Yep.
Maddie. Okay.
Hi, this is Officer Walker from Big Time. You speaking with? Maddie, 1 second. Between the volume up on this phone. It's okay.
I don't assume that's Gatorade. But it could be. Maybe test.
How do you spell it, Maddie?
I don't know. You can leave it there.
So I take you guys are Sigma guys?
I'm a Sigma.
I was in the house, but I'm not.
You why? Why?
You graduated. Graduated. I will graduate with a bachelor's. I'm still getting my master's right now. So.
But you get a master's?
Why are you hanging out with 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds? You know, rush week over here. You graduated.
All right, Madison.
really
So here's the
Oh,
deal.
cool.
Okay.
I actually got a kid
They've
of mine
already
who
said that
started
no
in
one
that
here
program.
lives at
Really?
like yes, ma'am. Okay, you enjoy your evening, all right?
I just, it's Halo time.
He's talking about
Our
playing
detective
Halo.
sergeant goes, talks to all their bosses, and pulls all their records. It's crazy because it's such a high liability. Like if you hire someone who's got a bad record and you don't find it, you're stuck with them. So
If you hire somebody that has a bad record, you're stuck with them. Why are you stuck with them? Why don't you fire them? He's talking to this guy about this ride along about hiring and that they go through this whole big thing and that, you know, they do background checks and they go to your hometown and blah, blah, blah.
it's a work, like we send people to where they live. Yeah, so we, like to get them to this point, just to get them hired, it's a pretty substantial, like, they do a full background check, tons of interviews. We go to all their previous places of work. Like we send people to where they live. So just to get to where you're hired is a big deal. And then
We send people to where they live and we take their trash. Brian Koberger wanted a job. We're going to come to where you live. Okay. And we're going to check it out. We're going to check you out. Listen to this shit. Truly listen to, like, yeah, we're going to, you know, we're going to go wherever you are. We got to check into you. We're going to come get you. We're going to look into you.
No.
Okay. Idaho State. So at this point, we're going to leave. Okay. And again, if I have to come back later tonight, like I said, I just want to express that there's going to be some citation given out. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Okay, you enjoy your evening, all right?
2022. During the course of the last several months, there has been a lot of discovery that's been requested and a lot of
yeah, so we, like to get them to this point, just to get them hired, it's a pretty substantial, like, they do a full background check.
I would not want to stand here and
all their previous places of work. Like we send people to where they live. So just to get to where you're hired is a big deal. And then it's 4 phases, 4 weeks each. They get progressively more burden put on them to do the job on their own.
These 3 officers are officers that have each conducted critical interviews with critical witnesses in the case, made decisions about the interviews, made decisions about evidence, and conducted other kinds of investigations.
Talks to all their bosses.
We seek their training records to understand their
because it's such a high liability. Like if you hire someone,
the training records, Your Honor, they are records that we've been able to obtain from various police agencies in the past. In this circumstance, they're not records that I can find on my own. These are not things that are on the internet. They're not going to just hand them over to 2 of the officers that we've requested them about our Idaho State Police officers.
Halo time.
I have often received training records for Idaho State Police officers in the preparation of other cases during the course of my career. They are imperative for us to understand the specialty in interrogation.
We want to understand why you didn't ask them where they were that night. You guys. So the reason I did that little overlay, I'm going to back it all up, is these investigators from ISP were crucial in making decisions and interviewing to the point of deciding what was important or what, okay, yeah, they're telling the truth. No, they're not. Like their decision making, the questions they asked, what they deemed, you know, came from each interview, such as how many people were cleared in the beginning. These people are the ones that are clearing the people. Okay, the same people that are questioning Dylan and Bethany and Jack D and Adam and fucking everybody, okay? All the Sigma Chi's. These people are the same people that said, here's $1 million check, Jennifer Drake, after 3 weeks. Okay. These are the same people that knew that a 911 call wasn't made when it said it was made and portrayed it like it was called at a different time. You understand that? Fuck, you don't even need training records right now. I got a nice big fat envelope. Here you go, Anne. This is what they did. And they did it just a couple years ago. So everything and anything that they will say then on the stand, when you show, it's kind of like Mark Furman's situation, but 10 times better because it's like so relevant in that it just happened. It's the same fucking people. It's the same people doing the same shit. And here she's just so calm about explaining why she needs this because she wants to understand how these officers would ever interview and listen to these answers and think that there's not problems here. Nothing to see here. I can only imagine what these recorded interviews are like.
ISP recruits got training on dealing with real-life situations today and crimes. Troopers put through trainees through all types of combative situations during their 2-hour traffic stop training.
That's my last name.
That's your last name? What's your first name?
Corporal Joe Lake has been on the job for 11 years. He has pulled over his fair share of drivers for just routine traffic stops. Lake is also a senior trainer for ISP's recruitment program.
Now, at all the time that you've had people come to your house, police officers come to your house, have you ever truly seen this? They didn't even knock on the front door. Think about this. This is in the middle of the afternoon, 5 o'clock, 5:30. And you got Huffy Puffy coming around the bend. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing on my property right now? What can I help you with? You didn't even knock on the door. How can I be of service to you, though? What the fuck are you here for? I want to know why the fuck you're in my backyard, walking around, examining whether I have stairs or not to my balcony. I want to know this.
He thinks traffic stop training is crucial.
Look at this.
No one's coming to the door.
No one's coming to door my ass. You didn't even knock on the door. Thank God for this. This is proving. The body cams are proving this. I've just never. You knock on someone's door, and you're at the front door. I've never had it that somebody's then tried to come to any and all of my exit points, entry points. This is just wild, if you ask me.
Their training capability. We get out of the academy and we're the most highly trained individuals coming out into law enforcement.
Always dreamed of being a police officer from the time I was a...
Look at this shit. Think about this. Why aren't you at my front? What are you doing back here? What is going on? Why are you showing up and coming to my back screen slider? Legit, you never knocked on my door and you're telling people that you did. Well, this body cam and the one that Nate's wearing prove that you never knocked on the door. But guess what? We're cops, we can lie. But why are you lying about that? You just lie about everything.
Small child. I tried other things and it just wasn't quite for me, and then I got out on the road and realized that this is definitely the...
Okay, there's the flip cup table, by the way. So
career for me.
I came to work for the Idaho.
Okay, yeah, he's pointing. There's that speaker. You see that speaker? How did you know that speaker was there? There was no way in hell you saw that speaker. Impossible. Impossible.
Idaho State Police after I finished up college.
There's that flip cup table.
A former Idaho State trooper made his first court appearance this morning, accused of murdering his wife 2 years ago. It comes just days after
a lot of guys going to argue private property. Listen.
Grand jury returned an indictment.
Graham 2's Kyle Simchuk is following the case in Kootenai County tonight. 57-year-old Daniel Charles Howard walked into the Kootenai County Jail on Friday night just as he learned that there was a warrant out for his arrest. According to court documents, Howard, a former Idaho State Police trooper, called authorities on the night of February 2nd, 2021, and said his wife, 48-year-old Kendi Wilkins, had shot herself. Detectives say during the course of their investigation,
Right there. Same guy that was working the night of the murders undercover, taking a picture of Kaylee's ID right here. Lies about knocking on the front door, comes around the back. Why? I've gotten a lot of body cams. I haven't seen this done to anybody else but her.
They found no evidence of a suicide, but instead a homicide. Now, Howard's attorney, Jason Johnson, tells KREM 2 there is only circumstantial evidence in the case and that a gunshot residue test from Howard's hands came back negative. His attorney says Howard has cooperated with detectives since day one and provided information about his wife's depression and the medication she took. That attorney says if there was physical evidence linking Howard to the murder, he would have been arrested years ago. Howard is now charged with murder and felony domestic battery. Our news partner, the Coeur d'Alene Press, reports Howard resigned from Idaho State Police in 2014 after he was suspended amid investigations into criminal activity in Kootenai and Bonner counties. Prosecutors say Howard threatened to kill a man in 2013 who allegedly had an affair with his wife. The Coeur d'Alene Press reports Howard was accused of pouring syrup in the man's vehicles and firing a gun at his home. Howard spent 4 months in jail. Now he's back in jail facing the most serious charges yet. Today, Howard declined.
Any questions?
Yeah, the guy that's taking the picture of Kaylee's ID is the same officer that was working undercover that night, Nate Rosendahl.
No.
Robinson, and tonight, Idaho State Police are warning the public about an increase in deadly overdoses connected to fentanyl in Kootenai County. They say the deaths involved 4 men and 1 woman, ranging in age from 15 to 60 years old, and that they appear to be accidental and unrelated. Our Morgan Trow sat down with local law enforcement to find out the dangers of this synthetic opioid and what we can do to stop a dangerous trend.
Over the past 8 days, 5 people in Kootenai County died of suspected fentanyl overdoses. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office says this sharp increase shows a greater trend in the rise of drugs being laced with the highly potent opioid. The HIDTA task force works to intercept drugs as they come across the community on highways. The local Kootenai County unit says overdose deaths rose by nearly 40% in 2020.
Officers did not find
told
any
you about the
evidence
shortage of Idaho State
on the
Police
dog.
dispatchers and how
And
it
there
held a
was
career
no
fair to hire more
indication
people. Now,
the
ISP
animal
also needs to
had
hire more
entered
troopers. State Police is looking for
interested in the
dedicated men and
investigation.
women to carry out their mission of
Victims'
serving
families
and
on the-
protecting Idahoans. Our Shira Matsuzawa heard from ISP
that
today
is an
about
active
its
crime
upcoming
scene.
recruiting event.
And
Shira.
Well, Morgan, ISP tells me
number
when it
3
comes to
of
troopers,
this-
they only hire troopers 1 to 2
or
times
know
a year
of
because
anyone.
it takes several months to train
when
them.
people wanna say, well,
But
why
this
didn't
year,
Brian
like
Colbert
so
come
many other
forward? If you
agencies
know-
and
if
businesses,
you
they're
own
looking to hire more people than usual.
the occupants.
People come here because they love their communities, but specifically they
Are
love their
interested
state.
in the investigation, not in your acts. Don't look over here. Hey, guess
for
what? We need
people with a
we need your
clean
help with the White
background.
Elantra.
Folks
Here it
who
is.
like being outside and not stuck behind a
And what
desk every
happens
day,
on
and
December
good
7th
decision
is
makers.
we have
Law
no
enforcement
idea
in
this is
general, and
coming.
specifically state
We have no
troopers, they
idea
have a
this is
lot of
coming.
autonomy. I
But
mean,
on
they get to
December
make
7th,
decisions
what
every
comes
day
our way
that
is
heavily
a
impact a person's life.
press release.
And if you don't have a background in law
It's
enforcement,
just so that what-
that's
tip line-
okay.
That's okay. Fuck that. If you don't have a background in being a good person, you know what? That's okay. If you don't know dick, we got you covered. You know why? Because we're going to tell you what to say. We're going to tell you what to do. And when we tell you to look the other way, you're going to do it. I mean, even better.
You don't
the
have to have that
occupants
experience.
of a
I need
white-
to have the desire from somebody. I can teach
The
you.
desire. You don't need experience. You have to have the desire to be willing to cheat. You have to have the desire to be willing to be blackmailed.
How to be a state trooper. As far
The investigation will be released to the public.
Officers that we've requested them about are Idaho State Police officers. I have often received training records for Idaho State Police officers in the preparation
Vocal about
request,
stuff,
and that's
you know,
number 2 in the second motion to compel.
to save your
Request number
reputation,
4,
to save
and that
your
has
possible
to do with
job.
the FBI forensic examiner that is aware that not producing discovery, especially when it's material, can be a due process. All of them, including the police training records. They're necessary for us to
Would be hitting
prepare and present
X, Y, and Z
our defense,
buttons.
Mr. Koberger. They're necessary for
Payne
us to do
says
our
that he's there though and
investigation.
clicks his
They're
appropriate
necessary for
buttons.
us to prepare our case
This
and
trip,
our motion practice moving forward.
the only reason I knew that Payne was there
Are things that we need.
and myself
Again,
observed the
court's
music
read
coming
the
from
probable cause affidavit
1122
that led to Mr. Koberger's
foot.
arrest, and the court can see that
So they were
this
walking,
vehicle
okay,
identification was
but
heavily relied on
so
by the state
M170
to
gotta go
arrest
from
Mr.
down.
Koberger.
So right here, this is the main radio log table from them going back to 1122 King that night. They went there twice when they had called Maddie. From the call from this main radio log table, you would not think that Officer Payne was there. The only reason we know Officer Payne was there is because once I got the body cam with it, I saw Officer Payne talking to Xana. Also in the report, when they did the synopsis of it, Welch or House, one of the two, I can't remember offhand, wrote up in the report about Payne being there. That's how I found out that obviously Payne was there. But he didn't log on anything. I believe he was riding along with another officer. He was sitting in the passenger seat. And, but he never, it was like he wasn't there. According, if you just saw the main radio log.
As well
The
as
bottom of the
15,
page, and you have to
a lot
read
of
up.
other search
That's how
warrants.
these work.
This is information that
This is where it's
very
interesting.
necessary
Nowhere on
for
here
us to
it
prepare
says
our case.
Jordan
I don't
Welch,
think
M178,
Mr. Thompson and Ms. Jennings
Jason
are
House,
withholding
M.
anything.
The reason this is important is because, like, then we got to talk about the day of the murders, and people start arriving. Well, I'm very curious to see what these logs would look like, and who was there and when they got there, because it tells you like
I think we
140.
don't have it, but I think we need
Nowhere on
the
here
curriculum
does there say
detail
anything
from the
about
examiner
Officer
late
Payne
yesterday from
being
the
at
prosecutor's
the
office.
scene,
So I'm asking the
logging
court
in
to
at
order
the
a
scene.
deadline for the report
Nowhere.
to be given to the defense.
This, however,
Again,
would directly
was expanded.
contradict
I believe
the
I
write-up
have the
in the CAD notes.
communications between the
On
police
9/2/2022,
department and the
approximately
FBI about how that date
28
range
28
changed.
hours,
But what
so
I don't
12:28
have is
a.m.,
the report
I
from the
responded to the
examiner.
area of King and
I
Queen
think they'll give it
Road
to me
for a
when they
report of
have
a
it,
noise
but I
complaint.
help them get the information a little bit more.
This person reported a home playing loud country music. Upon my arrival, Payne and myself observed the music coming from 1122 Queen Road. This would be the second time we received a noise complaint at this residence. Payne was able to contact two unidentified individuals on the back porch playing music, which would be heard from Taylor Avenue. Payne asked the individuals to turn the music off and to get one of the residents of the home to come to the door. Shortly after, a female, identified as Xana Carnoodle, answered the door. Payne asked Carnoodle if she spoke with Mogan, a female identified as a resident of the home from earlier. Xana said no. Payne explained that this was the second time we have been dispatched to the home for a noise complaint. Payne explained if we were to be dispatched again, Xana would be cited. Xana understood, and she said she would quote-unquote kick everyone out of the home. Payne and I cleared. Nothing else to report. Now, this is proof that there were 3 officers there at this house for the second noise complaint, because here is the additional camera. But there are only 2 people on that log. Payne never logged in that he was going there. It just so happened that Welch put it in his paperwork. As you can see, there's one shadow here. One shadow. One person is walking up here by themselves. This is not when 2 people walked up. This is one person walking up. Because the 2 cops are already up there from the first video I showed you. You have three police officers.
I have her cell phone number here. Just call her. Tell her she's here to come outside.
Is it customary that officer one shadow? Gonna have you look over here so you get it. Let's see this really quick though. Does that look familiar to you guys? What is up, Jeremiah? Just curious if that looks familiar to anybody. Someone's mom. Anybody? Alex, I'll take who is it for 1,000? The photos. I'm just curious if this looks. Does this look like anybody to anybody? Is anybody? I'm just curious. Who do you think it is, Mandy Joe? Never gonna get it, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Wah, 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 wah. Anybody? Okay. So, Lake's mom, isn't it? But doesn't that look like Michelle? Michelle? No? Doesn't that look like the woman who, is that what her name is? Let's see. Ready? There's how many unknown? LOL, my shell art. Yeah. Is that her? Is that what she looks like? My shell art. Is that her? Is that her? Okay, so let me show you something. Back when we, like I told you, I was taking you down memory lane. Again, this is public Facebook, public something, public socials. Maddie, her post. This is boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there is the house that Maddie lived with her junior year. Okay, so we're going to come back to that in a second, but here we go. Is this relevant to the case? Everything's relevant to the case. So there's the housemates. There's the 6 people that live in that house right there. All right. Now, Caden Young, Emma Bailey followed. Okay. Liked posts, friends on social media with Emma Bailey, Caden Young. Okay. Emma Bailey had tons of accounts. This is one of them. Emma Bailey. This is her account. Following as it's lit up. And she's following Mr. Proper. That is one of Dee's accounts. Okay. Now, this is the girl that Dee saved allegedly at the pool fight where he beat somebody's ass. Allegedly, this is who he saved. SMI drug discovery. Wonder what that is. When Emma Bailey was arrested for her DUI, she said that she had never been arrested or in any trouble before that. There's her DUI. 8/1/2022. Jules is the main plug. You guys know what main plug is? It's the drug connect. Okay. Following. Both Emma's accounts. Now, why is this relevant, Lana? Well, because I want to talk about Cindy Barnhart. She is the media marketing person for the school, IU. Okay. This is, you know, she took this picture, how I found it. She tags Emma Bailey. Emma Bailey is not in the picture, but it's like Emma Bailey's second family. She is and was and had this cheer squad. She got all these girls, told them that they were, you know, so pretty and they're amazing. They could be models. They can do all of this stuff. you know, nothing wrong with that. Aiden is her daughter. Okay, ready? Back when I took this picture 357 weeks ago, liked by Kaylee. Okay. Thing is, though, is Kaylee was no longer friends or following these people. How did Kaylee know? Let me count the week. 357 weeks ago, okay, is when this was posted. Liked by Kaylee, though. This is the daughter of Cindy, okay? And it would be the stepsister to Lake right here. Okay. There's Aiden. See? Aiden and Lake. Step brother and sister. Because Joe Campbell and Cindy got married and they, you know, formed their families. Okay. So Cindy's daughter. Kaylee liked it at one point. I found that. Cindy wrote a post on social media and said that her son, aka her stepson, Lake, lived in the house where the murders occurred 6 months prior before the murders. He lived there. And I was looking up Aiden. Waitress, Mad Greek Restaurant Pizza, 2017 and 2019. Another post by Aiden. 3 a.m. swim, liked by Kaylee. 3 a.m.s. Everybody's just loving those 3 a.m.s. Again, that was 204 weeks ago. Okay, when this picture was taken. Aiden's history showed Eastern Washington University, University of Idaho, Moscow High School, May 2019 graduated. Okay. Have no idea if this matters, but Brian Drake's eldest son, Brenner Drake, Eastern Washington University, that's where it says that he went to school too. Stop looking at my dick, bitch. 80 weeks ago, October 29th, 2021, Aiden, and her boyfriend. I want those sweatpants. They're sweet as fuck. I want you guys to see something. Right here, this is where Caden Young was he went back to this apartment, and this is where he, overdosed after he was already like at the hospital. I want you guys to take a look at this. The hospital, though, to where that house is an hour and 21 minutes. Harborview Medical Center, an hour and 21 minutes. Okay. Why would Caden go an hour and 21 minutes? Where was he staying, for that weekend, for that, going out and hanging out? A friend picked him up, and a friend took him to this location, 300 Forest Ave, which was 121 or a 1 hour and 21 minute drive. That's the path to get there. Now, Blaker keeps on going on. I know this is a sorority house. I know this is a sorority house. It was a sorority house. Let's take a look. That's the house. And then everybody leaves except for Maddie, and she fills the house. December 5th, 2021. Maddie at Dylan, kissy faces. That was a formal day. Whoopsies. Why would Lake's stepmom say that he lived in that house? Isn't that wild? Why would she say that? He didn't live in that house. He was living in Boise, and he was like roofing, like he was a roofer, like. But why would she say in a post on November 13th that her stepson lived there 6 months ago and that all of this violence needs to stop? Violence? What violence? What's going on? Like this should have shocked you. This shouldn't be like, oh my God, like this is just another reoccurring event. But did Kim, is that her name, Kim? The hell is she? A stack of papers. Did Kim say that he had been there recently because in case his DNA was up in that house? I wonder what type of fallout Aiden and Kaylee Gonzalez had. There it is. So just so you guys can see this, Emma Bailey, this is like her second family. And these two people, he's a professor at IU. She runs all of the marketing for IU. Okay? Okay. So, and Emma Bailey is like, that's her best friend, Aiden. Okay? And we all did that cheer competition shit together. I don't know why anybody would ever write in the comment section and saying like that your stepson Lake lived in the house. Oh my God, that was his house 6 months ago. That's not even true. Why you would even say that? Talking about that this violence needs to stop, but it's like you're putting him in the house for a reason, is what I feel like. Just in case what? His DNA was in that house. So again, and then I come to find out that people were in town that normally aren't in town. People talked about that there was a Jeep Wrangler around Linda Lane. They have Jeep Wranglers. Don't know. But at the end of the day, that wasn't his house. He was supposedly in Boise, doing roofing stuff. So, but she wants to say that he lived there 6 months ago. And I thought that was crazy because he did not live there 6 months ago. And I just don't understand these guys in these fraternities. They're going to school and then they're getting jobs becoming roofers. Like, I don't know. It's just weird with degrees. Again, Aiden is her daughter, Emma Bailey's best friend. She married Joe Campbell. Joe Campbell is a professor. Kim is the marketing director of IU. And Kaylee and Aiden were friends at one point, liking each other's posts. And then all of a sudden, like nothing, they weren't even following each other. And this is Emma Bailey's second family. Kim is putting Lake in the house 6 months prior to. Don't know why. Again, I'm just saying that it's interesting. Why are you even commenting on this? It should just, especially you being like the marketing media manager. But then she's talking about violence and that this needs to stop. Like that I use notorious for it or something. All this violence needs to stop. Well, violence. So then I wanted to know why the cops were saying the house could have been the target. And I wanted to know if any of those girls were friends with Emma Bailey and followed them on social media. And it came back that they did. Kendra, she did. Who else? Maddie, Mad Greek, not friends with Emma Bailey. Kendra, friends with Emma Bailey on IG. Lake Campbell, Emma Bailey's best friend, Aiden's brother. Ashlyn Couch, Emma Bailey followed Couch on IG. Ruby Simpson, not friends with Emma Bailey. Not friends with Emma Bailey. Dylan moved into her bedroom. Kaylee moved into her bedroom. First floor. Where she is. So the reason that people were in the certain rooms that they were in is based on they took over the bedroom of people and paid them their deposit money that they had put down. I'm telling you, that lease is a mess. Is Kim the wife of a crooked WSU officer by chance? Asking for a friend. Kim who? There's so many Kims, girl. Anyways. Again, I told you guys I was going to take you guys back down to how all this stuff connects when you want to talk about the house. D is 100% involved with the drug dealings. There's another guy that is involved in the drug dealings. Again, the hookups are a lot in Pullman, but it's like ordering DoorDash. People bring it to you. I encourage people to read between the lines on all the interviews that I've ever done. And I was actually kind of surprised that Kim and Joe Campbell weren't there for Emma Bailey. How do I know that? Because Emma Bailey was talking. You would have thought that she got them like a defense attorney and yada, 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 but I don't know. Curious to know why she wouldn't be there for Emma Bailey, nor would like her friends. Right. Now, check it out. Is Kim the new Karen? Nice name. Whoop. Let me share this. Again, welcome to Memory Lane. Chain.
Please be patient. I understand that everybody wishes that this was solved already, but these things take time. It takes time to work through. You heard the stats of all the tips and everything, the interview.
I just got to say that again.
And everything that's been done. This takes time for our investigators to work through. So please be patient as we work through this investigation. We owe this to these young kids, to these young adults. We owe it to them. And we are absolutely dedicated.
On December 27, 2022, Pennsylvania agents recovered the trash from the Kohlberger family residence located in Albright, Pennsylvania. That evidence was sent to the Idaho State Lab for testing. Allegedly. On December 28, 2022, the Idaho State Lab reported that a DNA profile obtained from the trash and the DNA profile obtained from the sheath identified a male as being excluded as the biological father of suspect profile. At least 99.9998% of the male population would be expected to be excluded from the possibility of being the suspect's biological father. Based on the above information, I am requesting an arrest warrant be issued for Brian C. Kohlberger.
I understand that everybody wishes that this was solved already, but these things take time. It takes time to work through. You heard the stats of all the tips and everything.
Yeah, about that. I can't. Next up, down memory lane. Let's see. Oopsies, wrong one. I think it's on here. Oh yeah, there it is. The DoorDash driver picks up an order from 310 Northeast Stadium Way, allegedly, if you're considering the Jack in the Box, right? DoorDash driver puts the location of their delivery order into their GPS. Minutes later, your GPS would have rounding past the 1122 King Road house. Check this out. Check this out. This is sick right here. It's a good thing I saved all this crap. When you pump it into your, if you're the DoorDash driver and you're coming from there, wherever, and you put that in, back in the day, this is how it told you to get there. This is what it did. Look it told you to go around and you're going to be parking on the side. You're going to have to walk through the trees to get to the house. It has you going around like that. Okay. Suspect vehicle 1 can be seen entering the area a fourth time, approximately 4:04 a.m. It can be seen driving eastbound on, they said, King Road, stopping and turning around in front of 500 Queen Road, number 52, and then driving back westbound on King Road. when suspect vehicle 1 is in front of the King Road residence, it appeared to unsuccessfully attempt to park or turn around in the road. The vehicle then continued to the intersection of Queen Road and King Road, where it can be seen completing a 3-point turn and then driving eastbound again down Queen Road. That sounds like someone kind of lost, like a DoorDash driver doing what? Trying to get to this house that you clearly, I thought I was supposed to make a right after the house, and I was gonna go into the side through I know I'd be using that. It just makes way too much sense to me. And then she finally gets it right when she's heading back past the house and turns right to go behind the house and then comes through the trees like the GPS says to do. I mean, this is what it's telling you to do. So you would follow you would be following your GPS. But look at it. Isn't that weird though? It wants you to walk through the trees to then get into the house. This is why they took it off Google. Upon review of the video, there are only a few cars that enter and exit this area during this time frame. That just is so stupid. Okay. You mean during that time frame? What about Linda Lane makes it look like there's a lot more action. Oopsies. Another classic here.
Two different letters, one from Dylan and one from Bethany.
Their letters read by a pastor at a service held this weekend. From Dylan Mortensen.
My life was greatly impacted to have known these four beautiful people.
and Bethany Funk.
Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan were truly all one of a kind. They all lit up any room they walked into and were gifts to this world.
Officials say their surviving roommates have been ruled out as potential suspects. Their 4 friends stabbed to death in the early morning hours of November 13th, likely while asleep in their beds. With no suspects or murder weapon, the Moscow Police Department still following leads in the investigation, digging through more than 100 pieces of evidence. On top
In the fall of 2021, Maddie moved into 1122 King Road with some sorority sisters from the same sorority house. As Maddie was enjoying her time with her sorority sisters, Kaylee was enjoying her sorority sisters just as well, living in a different home as Maddie, freshman, sophomore, and junior year. The days of living on campus in Moscow, Idaho were over for Maddie and Kaylee. They were both having the time of their life while in Moscow. It wouldn't be until their senior year, though, that those two would finally share a home together in Moscow and attend the University of Idaho as not only best friends, but as roommates. During their time in Moscow, Idaho, there were some troubling times for other families as well as abnormal activity with coyote killings.
A disturbing discovery for students in the University of Idaho's Greek system over the weekend. Moscow police are searching for the person responsible for leaving coyote carcasses on their doorsteps. XY4's Drew Reed's working for you with who could be responsible.
For the second time in 3 weeks, students at University of Idaho were left with an unsettling discovery. Dead coyotes were left at the doors of several sororities and fraternities, including here at Pi Kappa Phi.
We're really, I guess, unsure why that was happening, but we got rid of it.
Moscow police say on January 20th, a student left a coyote carcass at a sorority as part of a drunken dare. It's still unclear if this incident is related.
We don't have enough information right now as to who actually committed it, so we don't know if it's a continuation of the prank or someone else doing something.
The president of this fraternity says these coyote killings were pretty gruesome. The coyote's body was mangled, and he says the sorority across the street got it even worse. He says at Pi Beta Phi, there was more blood on the doorstep, even smeared on a window. Police say it appears the coyotes were shot, which is not illegal in Idaho.
In the state of Idaho, all you need is a hunting license. You don't need a tag or anything like that, and you can hunt on public land.
Now, students left baffled as to who could be responsible.
It was just really, I guess, just interesting because I thought it was just a one-time thing that happened a couple weeks ago with someone, but now that it happened a couple times, you know, I definitely think it was something unusual.
Police say placing these carcasses is a misdemeanor crime punishable by...
I don't have words.
by a $100 fine.
We do have a person of interest. We're still interviewing our first suspect to see if he has any connection to these other 4.
Now people who live at this fraternity want whoever is doing this to know they aren't amused.
It might just be like someone thinks it's a funny prank, but
What kind of people were involved in the daily life of Kaylee and Maddie? And the biggest question of all, what happened on November 13th, 2022 in Moscow, Idaho at 1122 King Road? Executive producer Lana Oriani, Home Team Productions, Truth and Transparency. Mogan. As we begin today's episode, this is all about Greek life in terms of Kaylee Gonzalez and Maddie Mogan. Were these 2 seniors at Idaho actively in their sororities? We have pictures of them freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and we get to this year, which was senior year, and there are no pictures of the girls doing any activities with their sororities, with their respective sororities. Kaylee is missing from this picture of 4. It's supposed to be 4 people. Kaylee is missing. I'm going to show you guys some pictures and show you guys there is such a thing called generational pictures, generation pictures. And it has to do with when you become a freshman at a institution, at a university, and you choose to rush Greek and you get bidded on and you pick your sorority, your freshman year, you are considered a little. Your sophomore year, you are considered a big. Your junior year, you are a grandma. And then your senior year, you are a GG, a great grandma. Super important because why would somebody like Kaylee, who is so driven, ambitious, has her goals, likes to achieve them, put so much time into her Greek life, her freshman, sophomore, junior year, devoting so much time and energy, building all of these amazing friendships, to then come to your senior year, like this is the big, climax of it, your year, you're the senior, your house, your sorority, and that you just wouldn't be a part of it anymore. So what led and how did this come about that Kaylee was no longer in her sorority house? What happened? And I think it's very important to understand what happened because it's not just Kaylee that ends up not being in her sorority anymore. Maddie leaves her sorority as well. Sorority house. What happened? Take a look at these pictures really quick here. It's very important to understand what happened because it's not just Kaylee that ends up not being in her sorority anymore. Maddie leaves her sorority as well. August 16th. Thanks for watching, Murphy. Ethan, I don't know how much I owe you. Sham. Zip. Kaylee paid Xana. The zip is the zip game. Look at that. You have to chug that box Franzia right there. I don't even know the game. Good things come to those that something slap the What? Keep going. Push the. They'll be. What? Blacked? What? Contestant number 2. I didn't put this. Like, this is obviously. Okay, see. Kaylee had to pay Haley July Wi-Fi. Kaylee paid Haley Zip. Again, July 28th. The bar stools. You know, the ones in the door? Yeah. Ethan paid Zena with Panda Bear. Pandas. Coffee. Xana used to live with, that was her old roommate. Xana paid Hunter Johnson on May 17th. No caption. Furniture, this is how I found out that good old Dylan Mortensen paid Alice Simpson, the mother of Ruby Simpson, the direct deposit. She meant to put, she meant to just put like the house, like her lease deposit. She put direct deposit, bless her heart. Furniture, so like she bought the furniture from her room, like from what's her name's room. You know, when you're leaving, you just want to get rid of your stuff. Nobody wants to move anything. So August 5th, August 25th, again on the 25th. Okay. Again, this is, they were done with school and you start subletting. Okay. So, but look at that. August 25th, August 5th. Dylan never at any point in time lived downstairs. Housing payment. Okay. Jack Skinner. Another. Ethan. Yup. Gus. David. There's one of the Davids. Yep. August 8th. Luke. Now that's what made me sad. Huh? Hunter Johnson. Beefier, huh? Let's just say, let's not say it should even coming, but when did Dylan ask Kaylee to be her +1? Why would all these girls attend a hi-fi invite-only party after Maddie and Xana left the sorority? The answer to that is no, he was not. He was living at Sigma Chi. Again, just taking you guys down a trip down memory lane here. Video file. Let's see.
How's your night going?
Pretty good.
That's good.
Just trying to stay warm.
Is that y'all's car right there?
Yeah.
Undercover.
Well, just trying to save gas. They downgraded us from patrol cars.
Gotcha.
They gave us hybrids to save on fuel.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Talk about interesting conversation right there. Talk about fucking amazing conversation for Lana to find that out, because then all we have to do is request to see where was the purchase of these hybrids, or was that the only one? That is actually something that we are in the process of obtaining right now, is when were these undercover cars bought?
Once dispatch lets me know that that actually exists, I'll catch you this, all right?
No worries.
Look at that car. Pretty.
Car matching the Elantra's description can be seen between 2:45 and 3:15 a.m. the morning of the murders. The video was taken from a building on Linda Lane, several streets away from the crime scene on King Road. Video shows the vehicle traveling toward the crime scene. Later, Hall claims a similar vehicle can be seen on body camera video of an unrelated underage drinking bust. Hall pinpoints the car driving by at 2:58 a.m. and uses a digital overlay to place a Hyundai Elantra on top of the vehicle. Law and Crime took it a step further and superimposed the photo of a white car believed to be the Elantra that was caught on security camera by a local gas station that same night. It's important to note the vehicle has not been confirmed to be a Hyundai Elantra, and some believe the car appears to be a white Tesla. Later on, at 3:12 a.m., body camera video picks up what appears to be 4 people running under a street lamp in the background, and less than a minute later, a high-pitched noise. Some online detectives believe this sound to be
He believes that multiple undercover cars were driving around the campus on November 12th, late evening into the early morning on November 13th. As this is why I want the FOIA request on how many cars were purchased, stated by the body cam footage. The PCA puts Brian Kohlberger on Washington State's campus at 2:42 a.m., 2:44 a.m., 2:47, and 2:53 a.m. based on both CCTV television and cell tower pings. So the white Elantra that is seen driving in the background of the camera footage from the quote-unquote Banfield body cam and Linda Street can't be the white Elantra that they are putting on Brian, as he wasn't in that area until 3:26 a.m. according to the PCA. This vehicle that looks to be a white Elantra at 2:58 a.m. and then there's Linda Street, and then this screech at 3:12 a.m. Brian Kohlberger's white Elantra that they put him on in the PCA does not arrive until 3:26 a.m. at the 700 block.
In the night, we asked forensic audio expert Anthony Nelson to enhance the audio for Inside Edition.
Definitely doesn't sound like a human calling out or screaming to me.
Could it be a squeak of a wheel speeding away?
Yes.
It could be.
An expert witness right here is now saying that that is a screech, not a scream, but a screech of tires at 3:12 a.m. from the body cam footage that was enhanced by an expert witness.
By a local gas station that same night. It's important to note the vehicle has not been confirmed to be a Hyundai Elantra, and some believe the car appears to be a white Tesla. Later on, at 3:12 a.m., body camera video picks up what appears to be 4 people running under a street lamp in the background, and less than a minute later, a high-pitched noise. Some online detectives believe this sound to be a scream, while others say it could be tires screeching. The timestamp on this noise is important to note as investigators.
I didn't replay that footage to hear what they were saying, but to show you guys the different camera angles. Those are two different body cams. And they're both showing a timestamp of 3:12 a.m. So there's multiple undercovers.
Through our tips, through our leads, some of the evidence that came in, we start to identify patterns. And like we said earlier, we are confident that the occupant or occupants of that vehicle have information that's critical to this investigation. We also understand that even though there's sometimes a fascination with a particular case, some people simply don't see the news and may not know that we're looking for it. So if we get the word out there, hey, maybe your neighbor has one in the garage that they don't drive very often. Maybe there's one that's just not on the registration database. Let us know. So far, we have a list of approximately 22,000 registered white Hyundai Elantras that fit into our criteria that we're sorting through. That's an awful lot of information, but it may not be all of them. So the public can help us with that.
22,000 fitting that criteria.
Again, that show was December 16th, 2022. For those of you that have said that the police didn't confirm looking for a white Elantra and evidence that came in, that Court TV production was December 16th, 2022. They had Brian Kohlberger on November 29th, 2022. And that was after they pulled Brian over 2 times in Indiana, as he was pulled over December 15th, 2022. Now I want to know who wants to chat about the undercover hybrid cars out that night that could resemble what a Hyundai Elantra would look like. And let's talk about the PCA when it talks about a few cars entering the King residence area between 3:29 a.m. and 4:20 a.m. According to Officer Payne, he's been doing this for a while and he knows that that's a residential area and only a few cars are seen going back there between that time frame. Well, that's what I want to talk about. A special thanks to Footage Used, Court TV, News Nation, Inside Edition, and the Moscow Police Department. Again, this is Truth and Transparency, Home Team Productions. We'll see you at the next live. Moscow, Idaho, the University of Idaho murders. Executive producer Lana Oriani.
Love it. $23. So you guys have any NFC go Ben, any whatever. Love it. $23. So you guys have any NFC go Ben, any whatever. Love it. $23. So you guys have any NFC go Ben, any whatever.
This is a preview file.
She's also raising questions about why her sister called a young man named Jack multiple times the night she was slain.
At 2:26 a.m., Kaylee starts to call Jack. Kaylee calls Jack 6 times between 2:26 a.m. to 2:44 a.m.
Gosh, I give you a lot of
For
credit.
example use only.
Something that I want to talk about here, what I mean by that is that they're just talking about Jack's phone calls, Jack D. Okay. But think about this. who else was Kaylee possibly calling or texting? Okay. Just because she was calling that person, right? Were there other people that Kaylee was calling or texting? Think about it. Think about what you do. All right. Especially if you're engaging in multiple conversations that were going on that day or that, that evening, and stuff's coming through on your phone. Also, this is Inside Edition taking an interview with Olivia and chopping it up. Okay. Remember, the police are going to tell you, please don't say anything about this. Please do not reveal certain things because we don't want to tip people off. You get what I'm saying? So this interview is cut a certain way, right? And that's why I like doing live interviews, and it is what it is. I'm not copy slicing things up. It is what it is.
This is a preview file. For example, use.
So what I mean by that is that yes, Jack D and she was trying to call Jack D 100%. But were there other calls? Were there other text messages? And we saw this in the Brian Drake, Dr. Moore case. How do you clear people when you just began collecting evidence? Okay, you're clearing people. You're not clearing anybody, and if you are, then you're an idiot.
This is a preview file.
I would say, for example, get a pretty good timeline on Kaylee and Maddie the night of, from about 10:15 until shortly before 3 a.m.
Olivia Gonzalez says she discovered at least 6 calls from her sister Kaylee's phone between 2:26 and 2:52 made to a boyfriend in the early morning of November 13th. Detectives now saying these phone calls are a part of their investigation. Kaylee's family is firmly standing behind that boyfriend.
I know for an absolute fact that he is not a suspect. He is not suspicious. He is 100% innocent in this.
This new information adding more insight to the police timeline before Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were stabbed multiple times, likely while sleeping, by a Rambo-style knife. Kaylee and Madison were last seen at this food truck, moments later leaving with a rideshare driver. Police now saying they do not believe that driver is involved. Police now also releasing this map that is part of a latest search area around the home and asking for new surveillance video. This TikTok showing Kaylee, Madison, and Xana inside just weeks before. The 2 surviving roommates also in the video.
Think about this, just weeks before. But I thought Kaylee moved out. Think about it. They're doing this TikTok just weeks before, right?
We are blurring their faces because police have not identified.
His alibi was him driving to his parents' house the night, and he is now allegedly in Africa. This is what people were saying, allegedly. John Jack Showalter's parents live about 5 hours from Moscow. He walked down there with them, did not buy anything at the food. He did not buy anything. He waited. Then they just left. Why didn't they say anything to him? They have no communication. Do you guys understand that? Go back to all that. They didn't even talk to him when they were down at the grub truck, but walk down together. Okay. They get to the grub truck. He goes and stands in the back. He pops his hood. He doesn't talk to them at all. At all. But he was walking and talking with them on the way down there. That is very strange behavior. I do not care if he is not involved. That is just that's a weird thing. Like he's making it seem like that he's not even there, like with them. Like even if he's just like standing by them and not talking, you know? Very, very weird, right? So much so that it looks that bad that it could what? I mean, you're not going to use that as if you're a defense attorney to say like, look at how fucked up that is. And then you're not pissed that the girls just left you, didn't even say anything. You were supposed to give them a ride, weren't you? But then they just left you and they went with they called somebody else because they didn't want to go with you because they were what? They didn't like you. You were pissed off, weren't you? I mean, come on. This just looks horrible. This is just horrible. Why was the Moscow Police Department so concerned with clearing the name of John Jack Showalter with their first and second presser? You guys know that, right? They were so concerned with like, Hoodie Guy is not involved. They felt that pressure to say that shit. Why? Money, motherfuckers, money. Okay. How much of a financial contribution to the Showalters? Like, this is back when this was all this. I made this video in November of 2022. John Jack with a black eye as a kid, playing with some paint guns, you know. And I'm sure it'd be like this. Well, then submit your DNA. Tell me that you cleared him with DNA. You get what I'm saying? Submit your DNA and we can clear you. You know, submit your DNA. So many bizarre things happened on November 12th, 2022 and November 13th, 2022. Meet Dakota Goldman, who claims to be from the same area as Kaylee and knows her. This is what she posted on November 12th, 2022, that Saturday night. Look at this. You gave me hope. That was the worst of it. It's a bloody bedroom. And then the next day, November 13th. Begging you to love me was the cruelest thing I've ever did to myself. November 14th, Kaylee, I love you, baby. Always have, always will. I mean, have you guys ever seen this shit? After Kaylee's mother referenced the boogeyman on her latest interview, I went back to check that post out by Dakota. Good. That's the boogeyman over there. I mean, just wow, right? I am curious how long Kaylee and her boyfriend were separated for, and if during that time anything happened between Kaylee and Showalter, aka Food Truck Hoodie Guy. Did John Jack, thought he had a chance with Kaylee for whatever reason, and he was making it a point to run into her at the local establishments over the past month or two? Again, curious, because he was by himself. He didn't go there with the girls, but he left walking out there with them. Okay, I would like to know when it became public knowledge that Kaylee took a job and was moving to Texas. When did it become public knowledge prior to the murders and then it being said? Because the girl that she was going to be moving to Austin and living with, Jordan didn't think that they were living together until the summer. Just so you know. Jordan did an interview. Okay. They want to, I'm just showing you, this is like when people want to talk about who could it be if it's not Brian Kohlberger? Oh my God. Like, who else could it be? Well, who else were you guys all talking about? Who else was visibly doing things that night that's on camera? Was John Jack not happy that Kaylee was leaving? He only had so much time before Christmas break would be here and she'd be gone for good. Did he make his move? I mean, right? You don't think that that's a possibility? How do you exclude that it wasn't a possibility? John Jack went into the home after being dismissed that evening for the last time. He went to the 3rd floor and killed both girls. Ethan heard it, came out of the bedroom only to be stabbed in the doorway of the bedroom on the 2nd level. Xana woke up and she fought with Jack until the end. Isn't that what people were saying? Then we come to find out that both girls, like this is before the PCA, that both girls were in the same bedroom. The only intended targets that evening were Kaylee and Madison if the perp is John Jack Showalter, right? And then we listen, like, remember, this was made in November. Then we hear Christy talk recently and said that Maddie was killed first, which would lead them to believe that Maddie was the target, and that Kaylee, was trapped, okay? And if you go back, listen, if you go back to the grub truck and you see Kaylee pointing and saying, fuck you, fuck you. Do you want me to show you that video? Fuck you. Who is she pointing to saying, fuck you? You know what else is crazy is that we're all talking in the beginning and everyone's like, oh my God, Kaylee had a stalker. Oh my God, Kaylee had a stalker, stalker, right? Then the cops come out and they say, listen, we have tracked down everything possible to do with that angle. And we cannot come up that Kaylee had a stalker. Okay. This stuff. And then her parents are saying, listen, we would have known. Kaylee would have told us if she thought she had a stalker. Okay. Her parents say this. Okay. Everybody's saying, and it's coming back, and then law enforcement is like, listen, we've spent a ton of time on that angle, only to come out to find out that you're going to arrest Brian Kohlberger and you're going to say that he was stalking them. I mean, does anybody like listen to this? Like, again, this video that I'm showing right here, made in 2022 in November. She was saying it to Jack Showalter from the heavies, like, right? Like, who was she? Then I was like, so let's take a look at this one. Again, these are videos taking us back in the Wayback Machine, okay? Remember when Joe comes out? Mr. Joe wanted to go on TikTok and say, listen, I thought the guy was perfectly normal. He was just like being a good friend and whatever. So let's take a look at this.
Can I add chicken to that?
Okay, here's a side-by-side. Impossible, and here's the proof.
We're doing death by garlic.
Look at Joe's back.
With chicken, 5 cheese.
There's Kaylee on her phone. Can't see anything.
Anything else? Love it. $23. Do you guys have any NFC go Ben? Any whatever.
Joe V is engaged with Hoodie Guy the whole time, not looking at them whatsoever. He moves his head for a split second, and that was like an upward left movement. That is normal body movement when you're talking to somebody and you're just like looking off, gazing, and it's just a quick to the left movement with your head. Normal body language. Joe V did not see Kaylee Kaylee's phone screen during that time period.
Remember, he
Possible.
remember
So
he
we got
went,
fight for a film. He took it to TikTok. So I was like, here's a side by side.
We're doing Death by Garlic with.
Let's see. Here's your side by side.
yes. And can I add chicken to that?
Of course. We're doing Death by Garlic with chicken, 5 cheesy chicken. Anything else?
Guess who else we got to see in this video here? We get to see Sign Guy.
Love it. $23. Do you guys have any NFC go Ben? Any whatever.
Moving on. Let's see. Video. What else we got in this? Here you guys go. Enjoy it. My favorite part of the 2 hours and 30 minutes I'm about to close out. Ready?
I was like, oh, they're partying outside. Like, take out this trash, go fucking drop off this wine. Boom, easy.
Was there a lot of people over?
No, it was just like, there was only like a few at the time. It was like small, because it was later, you know what I mean? This guy, it's just, it doesn't really matter, you know what I mean? They've got DNA. I don't know what other evidence. They're probably keeping most of the evidence, but I feel like here. So I try to just be conscious about it for the most part. But at home, I'm pretty vegan-y. And it's just like, it's healthier for me that way.
So, like, so you haven't been contacted by like Brian's like attorney or anything to be like, hey, can we talk about that scream?
No, I don't think it's relevant in a court of law. You know what I mean? Like,
How right was Lana? He was contacted, but it was after this. He's like, I don't think that's relevant. Like they have like DNA and like that's just, you know, whatever else they have. But I don't think that screams relevant.
I don't see how that would be evidence in a court. You know what I mean? Like why? Like how would that be relevant in an actual court case? You know?
Well, I mean, unless you didn't hear. Well, I don't know if you didn't hear. If they wanted them to be like, hey, are you sure that you heard something? Because like you'd be pinpointing. It could be like the screams right before, you know, or while somebody was like being. You know what I mean? Because if they're trying to pinpoint the time of the crime.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, I feel
like not that you'd be like you don't like.
I feel like they have so much on this guy. It's just it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? They've got DNA. I don't know what other evidence. They're probably keeping most of the evidence, but I feel like they've been building this case for so long. They probably have a lot on this guy. So I mean, like little details, like you know, like a scream at like 4 a.m. Like it might give you like a closer timeline. But I mean, once you have like DNA and you have blood and you have like other evidence, I don't think that really matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When's last
time you even talked to the police? Or here's me. Yeah. Like I'm just like, what do we say? When we argue with the guy, and we just say, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about? That's why you've been in prison? Come on now. Again, I told you I was throwing it back, guys. Was that like way in the beginning?
Yeah, way in the beginning, and then one time they were in the parking lot, and I came and approached him, and I was like, "Yo, I also like saw this car that night. I don't know, it's probably not irrelevant, huh?"
The black SUV.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably not relevant, but I know you guys probably don't have a lot, so like, this is what I have just in case it helps.
He just said you guys probably have a lot.
I don't know what other evidence. They're probably keeping most of the evidence.
When's last time you even talked to the police? Or was that like way in the beginning?
Yeah, way in the beginning, and then one time they were in the parking lot, and I came and approached him, and I was like, "Yo, I also like saw this car that night. I don't know, it's probably not irrelevant, huh?"
The black SUV.
Yeah, I was like, it's probably not relevant, but I know you guys probably don't have a lot, so like, this is what I have just in case it helps. that's why it stood out to me, you know.
And was it in the parking lot, or was it like?
It was on the street. It was on the corner of King and whatever streets right before that. So I'm on Queen, and then Queen crosses the King, and then King crosses to another street that connects to Taylor. It was between that street that connects to Taylor and King Street.
Okay. Heard from? Did you have to fill out like a statement, like a witness statement, like a piece of paper? Or anything?
Nah.
They didn't do anything like that.
No. I mean, I feel, I just feel like a nobody, and I think to the police, I'm a nobody too. You know what I mean? Like they're
not with that cat line. You're not a nobody. You guys, what do you mean the police did not interview him? Do you understand that? There is no interview of this man. So everybody wants to like go crazy on fucking Enon. Dude, call up your local fucking police department and ask them why they didn't interview him. I mean, they're doing neighborhood canvases. I don't know what they're doing, okay? But I'm over here I'm asking him the questions. And and the stuff that he is saying, if he was never interviewed by police, I mean, what? Wild. Wait, can you say it for me? Can you say it? Can you just, he got subpoenaed by the defense. He got subpoenaed by the defense, not the prosecution. Say the line that you said, just so I can, what'd you say?
You want to come play with my cat?
Is your cat still there? Sorry. Oh, shit. Catch the entire interview. Check it out. There, geez. Makes you wonder who did the police interview. Yeah, I mean, he's like, I just don't think.
It's my old Hyundai and posted on TikTok just to troll him a little bit. No.
Okay. Do you have? Can you juggle for me right now? Like, what can we juggle? Like, here you go. I put that in there for you. Look at right there. He's like, listen to what he says. He's.
Of my old Hyundai and posted on TikTok just to troll him a little bit. No.
Okay. Do you have? Can you
trolling?
He's
Right
telling
now?
you
Like,
guys
what
he's
can we
trolling. Oh fuck! The interview News Nation couldn't get, and the questions and answers we never expected. You know.
Angle. Hold up.
Let's take a look. It's okay. We can just turn our head sideways. We'll get it going.
There we go. All right, I think that's good.
Let's see. You guys, I got him to juggle fire sticks for us. Oh my god, here you go. Oh my god. Look at that. It's oh wow. And those are normally lit on fire? This is amazing. On fire. Wait a second. How did you learn? Okay, so I mean, learn this. Look, he took off his glasses.
I took some acid once. And this,
He said, "How did you learn how to do this?" He said, "I took some acid once." I mean, if you guys have not seen this interview, go see it. I don't know what you guys want me to do. Like, everyone's like, Lana, do you really think that he's just so... I was like, you want me to sit here and tell you that I think he stabbed 4 fucking people? Look at him. Okay? He would have been... Look at his hamper. Look at his clothes. Okay? He would have had blood all over him. He would not have, like, he's not a clean person. It would have been shit all over him. There would have been shit all over his apartment. Okay. We got a nice little look here, right? It's the, oh, wow. And those are normally lit on fire? This is amazing. Wait a second, how did you learn this?
I took some acid once, and I was at this.
I took some acid.
I took some acid once, and I was at this this festival, and okay, let me go back a little bit. So when I was
Nothing but the hits. Nothing but the motherfucking hits right here. You guys. Lana, you guys, when Doc was going down that path, I was giving Doc, I said, here's this, here's this. Yeah, look at where there's multiple cars, right? You know, I just By the way, he's in the system. So those unknown DNAs would have hit in CODIS if they were Enons. They were, they didn't match. I guess I'll let you know when I'm there in person in his flamethrower apartment. Wait a second, how did you learn this?
I took some acid once, and I was at this. I took some acid once, and I was at this this festival, and okay, let me go back a little bit. So when I was
like I said, I don't even. I think the guy could get probably so fucking high that he would not know. Like, he doesn't remember shit. Yeah, I think I've caught him in lies too. But what are his lies about? I don't know. Do you think that Brian and Enon would kick it? I don't think so, but that's just me. I think Brian would walk into that apartment and have fucking a panic attack. But the moral of the story and why this should interest you at all is that the cops didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, what the hell?
Example use only.
I don't even know which one this is. This is back in the day. Oh, wait, I did this one. Yeah, I did this one. Oh, Layla, what's up? Thank you. You know what I was thinking about doing? You guys want to see my Justin interview? Throw some of that up here. Everyone's like, yeah, show me some Justin. The most impromptu thing ever. I should probably call somebody right now and see if we can get somebody on the phone. Oh, there it is. I should just call Enon right now and say, listen, can I check your car out? February 21st, 2021, Gary Jenkins, Pullman Police Chief in 2021.
Department about why it took more than a year to gather charging recommendations in a student's death. Yesterday, police recommended hazing charges in the death of WSU freshman Sam Martinez.
The problem is the statute of limitations for hazing has actually expired, making it so those charges cannot be prosecuted. Our Ian Smay spoke with Pullman Police and the chief today. Ian?
Whitney, a lawyer for the Martinez family, provided me with a statement today about the charging recommendations. The statement reads in part, quote, "It is with great sorrow and disappointment for the Martinez family to hear the news that the investigation was not completed in time to bring forward all of the potential criminal charges against the individuals who played a role in the hazing death of their beloved son and brother, Sam Martinez. This has been an unbearable, overwhelmingly painful experience for the Martinez family. However, they remain resolute." I spoke with Pullman Police Chief Gary Jenkins today about what led to delays in the investigation. Sam Martinez was a soccer-loving WSU freshman from Bellevue who died from alcohol poisoning after drinking at an Alpha Tau Omega fraternity event in 2019.
We wanted to do the best job possible to honor Mr. Martinez and his family. So I believe we have conducted a very thorough investigation.
Thursday, the Pullman Police Department recommended charges for hazing and providing liquor to a minor. The report did not recommend manslaughter charges. It is too late to file charges for hazing because more than a year has passed since Sam's death. Chief Gary Jenkins says it took a long time to track down witnesses who moved away.
The logistics of trying to set up in-person interviews with all the witnesses who many were not in Pullman when we were trying to interview them really added to the timeline of completing this investigation.
The other major hurdle was trying to access Martinez's cell phone for evidence.
We contracted with a company to try to do that for us, and they had it for quite a long time, and we actually did not get any results from that.
Jenkins says they had hazing charges in mind during the investigation and its one-year statute of limitations, but he says detectives didn't want to risk rushing the investigation.
We did not want to run into a double jeopardy problem where we, for example, would submit a misdemeanor case of hazing, but still have a potential for a manslaughter charge, which might be precluded from prosecution if some adjudication were made on the lesser charge.
This is what Sam's parents had to say to our sister station last July.
Sam was just absolutely pushed to the brink by this ritual, by this tradition of hazing, and left to die alone in the basement of that fraternity. It's devastating to think about.
Jenkins also told me the Pullman Police...
So they couldn't get into his phone. They couldn't go and interview people because they left. They weren't there. It's February 21st, 2021. But wait, back up. What do you mean you couldn't get into his phone? How many things are we going to hear about in the Idaho case? I'm curious about phones. You know, it's funny when you want to track down like someone like, let's just say Brian Kober or whatever, everything works perfectly fine, but you can't get into Sam Martinez's cell phone. How? Why not? I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. That's sick.
The police department has been short-staffed.
So Sam Martinez did some crazy shit with his phone so that nobody would be able to get into it. Get the fuck out of here. Who believes this shit? If I was the Gonzalez, I would sue like a motherfucker.
And recruitment stalled when the pandemic hit.
This is sick.
The Whitman County Prosecutor's Office is currently reviewing the recommendations. In the newsroom tonight, Ian Smay.
Police Chief Jenkins met with Brian Koberger while he was still the Pullman Police Chief on April 12, 2022, almost a year after that news update. There were some very disturbing information from that news update. Number one, who handled Sam's phone to try and obtain information from his phone that Jenkins speaks about in this interview?
The other major hurdle was trying to access Martinez's cell phone for evidence.
We contracted with a company to try to do that for us, and they had it for quite a long time, and we actually did not get any results from that.
Jenkins says they had hazing charges.
Curious if Sam's parents were given back his phone, and what type of phone was so difficult for the investigators to quote-unquote get into his phone to perform an extraction of the data. Number two is, what is Jenkins talking about when he says, quote-unquote, witnesses left and we couldn't get in touch with them? Why would you let people leave? Or even if they did leave, you can't find them? Did Gary Jenkins contact the FBI for help like Frei did for the Moscow, Idaho quadruple murder?
Chief Gary Jenkins says it took a long time to track down witnesses who moved away.
The logistics of trying to set up in-person interviews with all the witnesses who many were not in Pullman when we were trying to interview them.
Call him, motherfucker!
Really added to the timeline of completing this investigation.
The other major hurdle was trying to access Martinez's cell phone.
Sam was found in the basement in February of 2019. So you would have had February, March, April, and May. Those were all the months before summer break would have started. Not to mention all the months in 2020. A bunch of fucking idiots. So sick. Jenkins retired as the police chief of Pullman Police Department in July of 2022. To only a month later, double dipping the government by accepting a position with WSU Campus Police Department as the intern police chief. Double dipping your money. Truth and Transparency looked into articles written by the WSU Insider because TNT believes Brian Kohlberger would have done his research on the school's police department as well as Pullman's police department. He would have come across Sam's case as well as the WSU sexual misconduct claims. Boom! God, I feel like if I go down memory lane, I feel like I give you guys bombs every day. Just if you guys want to know anything about this Between case. 2001 and 2007, WSU had interesting problems. The Pullman Police Department, interesting problems. The Daily Evergreen, March 28, 2007, WSU Police Ethics issues surface. And this was about police officers using company credit cards to make private personal purchases with their company cards. And a name there was Don Daniels was part of that during this investigation and lawsuit. Don Daniels was an officer for Pullman Police Department during a scandal that spanned between 2001 and 2004, where police department officers were using company credit cards for personal use. One of the officers was fired. Dawn Daniels managed to keep her job, and now today she is the assistant police chief at WSU. Dawn Daniels should ring a bell for a lot of people covering the Idaho4 case, the University of Idaho murders. Brian Kohlberger, his search warrant of his apartment on WSU's campus was signed by Dawn Daniels. That officer that lost his job was able to actually sue Washington State University for violating his civil rights. And Brian Jacobson, the African-American police officer that was the only person to be fired for using a company credit card for personal purchases, he actually was able to retain his job for being wrongfully terminated due to discrimination. Brian Jacobson was employed with the Public Safety Department at Washington's Public Safety. The email that he wrote Jenkins. The email that he wrote fucking Jenkins says public safety in it. It was nice talking about the public safety. Public safety. Public safety. Brian Kohlberger was on to you guys. Brian Kohlberger was coming for you guys. Wasn't he? Damn, Lana. The fuck's that email at? God bless America. Got it. Chief Jenkins, it was a great pleasure to meet with you today and share my thoughts and excitement regarding the research assistantship for public safety. Woohoo! Y'all are sick motherfuckers. Boom. Y'all want to know why Brian Kohlberger was picked, bitch? He blew that whistle. Discrimination. Brian Jacobson was employed with the Public Safety Department at Washington State University, and he was a student intern in 1988 and began actually working as a police officer for the department in 1990. Brian had a very integral role in the department's data forensics lab, and his duties included investigating identity thefts. In this lawsuit, in this written work here, there were lots of letters, 19 letters communicating remand. Also at WSU, you were given a JP Morgan Chase corporate credit card to employees. The WSU state travel charge card policy. The policy requires employees to fully pay their monthly credit card bill upon receipt, and that they are strictly only for official university travel expenses. In November 2000, Brian Jacobson was issued a JP Morgan Chase travel credit card. For the university people was Dawn Daniels.
Hazing and left to die alone in the basement of that fraternity. It's devastating to think about.
Jenkins also told me the Pullman Police Department has been short-staffed and recruitment stalled when the pandemic hit. The Whitman County Prosecutor's Office is currently reviewing the recommendations. In the newsroom tonight, Ian Smay.
Police Chief Jenkins met with Brian Kohlberger while he was still the Pullman Police Chief on April 12, 2022, almost a year after that news update. There were some very disturbing information from that news update. Number one, who handled Sam's phone to try and obtain information from his phone that Jenkins speaks about in this interview?
The other major hurdle was trying to access Martinez's cell phone for evidence.
We contracted with a company to try to do that for us, and they had it for quite a long time, and we actually did not get any results from that.
Jenkins says they had hazing charges.
Curious if Sam's parents were given back his phone, and what type of phone was so difficult for the investigators to quote-unquote get into his phone to perform an extraction of the data. Number two is, what is Jenkins talking about when he says quote-unquote witnesses left and we couldn't get in touch with them? Why would you let people leave, or even if they did leave, you can't find them? Did Gary Jenkins contact the FBI for help like Frei did for the Moscow, Idaho quadruple murder?
Chief Gary Jenkins says it took a long time to track down witnesses who moved away.
The logistics of trying to set up in-person interviews with all the witnesses who many were not in Pullman when we were trying to interview them really added to the timeline of completing this investigation.
The other major hurdle was trying to access Martinez's cell phone.
Sam was found in the basement in February of 2019. Nobody drinks alone in a frat house. Okay? Nobody's in the basement. He was put the fuck down there. Okay? So you would have had February, March, April, and May. Those were all the months before summer break would have started. Not to mention all the months in 2020. Jenkins retired as the police chief of Pullman Police Department in July of 2022, to only a month later double dipping the government. So who did the hiring when all these candidates were interviewing? Why were they interviewing with? He knew that he was retiring. Jenkins was retiring. Also, there's all these officers that were having sex with girls. Okay. So what about that on WSU's campus? The campus police and Pullman police were having sex with these girls. What about that? Who was the panel? Who hired the positions? And then here you hear, well, we've been so understaffed and yada yada yada. By accepting a position with WSU Campus Police Department as the intern police chief. Truth and Transparency looked into articles written by the WSU Insider because TNT believes Brian Kohlberger would have done his research on the school's police department as well as Pullman's police department. He would have come across Sam's case as well as the WSU sexual misconduct claims. Until next time, guys. You guys will rock. Thank you so much. Thank you. Again, giving a shout out to the mods for being in here. All those of you guys that super chatted. Don't be hating. Thank you so much. Got me on my knees, Layla. Love it. Love all of your interviews, but the interview with this nobody, Zebra, thank you so much. Feels like 5 days, Lana. Nothing but the hits. Nothing but the mother. Miss Cat, love you, Lana. Love you back, girl. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to these victims and families. Send you email from Europe. Cool. Cat. Regarding JS from MDs have high rate psych traits. Again, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Vicky. Hollywood, up to no good. Thanks again, Holly, for that Cash App. Glacier LaPlante, thank you so much. Melissa, Marsha, where's Jan? We need Jan in here. Again, thank you guys so much. I know that Drip Drop, he dropped something new earlier today. Go check out his stuff. I've always been a fan of his. And I became even more of a fan when he stuck up for me. He's like, yeah, that's some shit. I'm stealing your work and just taking it from you, back with the body cams and not giving credit. So yeah, but he was on that from jump, and he was actually one of the first people to reach out to me about that. But I love originality. Drip Drop's original as fuck. You can clearly tell what creators put time into something and what creators don't, and what creators do a lot of work behind the scenes. So what you see during a live or a video, there's so much time that goes into it behind that, especially if you're preparing, documents and getting your hands on stuff that's valuable. So please go check out his work. He's one of the people that does that. And at the end of the day, you have to respect stuff like that. You don't have to have the same opinions, because that's no fun. But if you don't have respect, then I don't know why you're in true crime. So again, thank you guys so much. Yeah, that's a little backstory right there. Again, as always, I'll be talking a little bit later today about the Suzanne Morphew, Barry Morphew case, because I got some shit I want to say about that. Okay. And the only reason I started even looking into it is because Jane Fisher became his attorney. And that's the lawyer that I got for the Watts family when I went to Denver. I'm a huge fan of Jane Fisher, her husband. Their investigator, Natasha, is one of the best. So that's why I'm speaking about it. So catch me later. Catch me this Wednesday. Oh, what it is with Cindy. Yes, we got to get our voting on. So catch me tonight. We're going to talk about the Suzanne Morphew case. I want to talk about airplane mode. I want to totally explain to people that, listen, the expert came out and said Barry Morphew's phone was in airplane mode, but guess what? Barry Morphew's vehicle never left. So it doesn't matter that his phone was in airplane mode. How would he have gotten wherever he went? Well, then you have to talk about bringing in a second vehicle. And so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about airplane mode, and we're going to talk about a second vehicle. Because I like to use, and we're going to talk about the Murdoch case. I like to use past cases to kind of foreshadow what's going to happen with this case, and how precedent works. Like Ann Taylor's going to go out and get those experts, and they're going to be testifying on things that we've seen in the past, and we'll just see how it unfolds for this case. But yeah, join me later. And then what it is with Cindy, yeah, we got to do our voting tonight for her. Come on, tell me people aren't totally shocked when they heard the news that Suzanne, her remains were found and where they were found, and that they were looking for another body. And they found hers, and that it was where that one love cult crap was, in that same area. I have a lot of things I want to say about it. And everyone's like, come on, you don't think Barry Morphew didn't do it, right? And I said to myself, well, no, I have no idea if Barry did it or not. You know what I think sus? The daughters. And the daughters are sus. I think the daughters are sus. Okay? They're old enough, that's why. I'm curious. I'm curious where they were. It was COVID, right? They said they went to some church camping. That stuff was all canceled. So again, we're gonna really break it down, okay? So join me later to talk about, again, Barry, Suzanne. I think Suzanne deserves complete justice. I think that I think the case is just fucking wild. That there is a convicted sex offender DNA in her vehicle from Arizona. I mean, wow. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about if it was in the Brian Kohlberger case here and they found that shit in the home. How would that play out? And people are just like saying, no, he wasn't there. We can prove he wasn't there. Well, how did that get there? Let's talk about how it got there. Maybe he wasn't there, but how did it get there? Because I think that's going to be important for Brian Kohlberger's case. How did that get there? So yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of things. So, but again, thank you guys, and we will chat later on. Until then, be kind.